Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is a very special session. This is a free bonus training session where I'm going to break down our Tony Robbins takeaways. And so basically, we have the great honor and privilege to be at an exclusive mastermind with the one and only Tony Robbins. And if you don't know Tony, you should know Tony. He's one of the greatest, I believe, one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time. And he has 107 companies, and his companies are the engine that drives change. And so one of the coolest things about seeing his vision and being with him is that his companies that do billions of dollars in revenue fund things like feeding almost 1 billion people on earth. Like, how crazy is that? Providing fresh drinking water around the world, saving women from sex trafficking. Like, so he has 11 different major world changing initiatives, and his businesses fund that. So pretty cool stuff. So I'm going to jump right in. And if you're here right now, it's because you are one of our amazing, amazing Life on Fire family members. You're one of our clients. You're someone who is a part of our academy. Maybe you got this as a bonus for our Speaker on Fire program or even our Project Next program. And so if you're here, we're so grateful to have you here. And what's going to be powerful about this session is you're going to get the behind the scenes and hear some of the takeaways and the wisdom that we gained from this experience. But also, there's a great Wayne Gretzky quote, which is, you want to skate not to where the puck is, but you want to skate to where the puck is going to be. And so how many of you know that things are changing right now? Do y'all feel the change? How many of you know that, there's different seasons in life, there's different seasons in business, there's different seasons and cycles in the economy. And so things are changing. So I'd love for you to type in the chat box, who here on a scale of 1 to 10, um, 1 being, I'm not worried at all. 10 being, I'm super worried about what's coming up with the economy. Where are you finding yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 is like, ain't no thing, I'm good to go. And 10 is like, I'm freaking out. I'm super, super nervous. So I see a lot of different numbers. Okay. Full spectrum, probably leaning more towards on the higher end of the spectrum of, 6, 7s, 8s, and 10s. And I think one thing that's going to be great about today's training is I want to infuse a burst of hope. I want to inject hope. I want to inject faith. And I want you to know that abundance is everywhere. We live in an abundant world. And so the greatest wealth transfers in the history of the world happen when things reset. And so this is nothing more than a cycle, right? I mean, the economy has been booming and the stock market and real estate has been climbing and climbing and climbing, and that creates a bubble, and then bubbles burst. And so I hope one of my goals is by the end of this training is that you're going to be in a great position to prosper with purpose through this. And so it's amazing. And how do we do that? It's about having an abundant mindset. And so this training I'm calling Create Abundance Now, because part of these takeaways I really believe will help create more abundance now. But the other thing is that having an abundant mentality is super, super important because you'll see different opportunities. You'll think creatively when everybody else is in scarcity. So imagine if somebody is in a place of scarcity and they're freaking out versus you're coming at it and saying, you know what, this isn't about, just the economy is going down or recession. This is about God's economy, right? There's abundance everywhere and having that mindset. And so I'm going to teach some of that as well. And then I do want to also say that my sweet Megan, my amazing, amazing wife, Megan, who I'm sure you know, she's not here on the Zoom with us today. There's a death, a very tragic and unexpected death in her family. Her aunt Dawn, who was like a sister to her, unexpectedly passed away. And so she sends her love. She would like to be here. There's just a lot of things going on. So it's healthy and good for her to have some space to properly grieve and be with her family. And so she's not here on the Zoom today. And yes, we will have a replay and we'll put this out, and I'm going to put the notes and all of the information in there as well. And so thank you for your prayers for Megan. Thank you for the condolences. As you know, she is a very strong and amazing woman, and she sends her love. So I'm going to jump right in and And we do have the recording going now. We're streaming into Facebook. And so let me share my screen here. Okay, so you should be able to see. All right, so let me jump up to the top here. Boom, slideshow, play from start. Okay, cool. Let me know if you can see the screen okay. All right, perfect. Thank you, thank you. And so, first things first, I just want to kind of share, like, what is this all about? Because I do recognize that not everybody knows, what this whole scenario is. And so basically what happened is Megan and I promoted Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, who we love them both. They're incredible entrepreneurs, incredible people with big hearts, making big impact. And so we made a decision to share as an affiliate or a promotional partner to share their program. And how many of you would be really interested to know how on earth did Nick and Megan Unsworth get first place out of the whole world, out of all the promotional partners? Because I'd love to share that strategy with you and break it down, because anybody can do it. We competed against people that had a lot more followers, a lot bigger email lists, a lot more money and all that kind of stuff. And we did it, right? And some of you were a part of that and we love you for that. So, so we were promotional partners and we got number one. And then one of the prizes was to come and to be a part of this experience with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. So this is a picture from their awesome studio that they have. And, today we're going to then drill down, as I've been talking about. We're going to talk about the takeaways, about creating abundance, building wealth in this next cycle, and then even mobile marketing, as this is one of the best strategies that's working right now. I had a presentation that I delivered to the other affiliates, the other 9 affiliates, and I'm going to break that down for you. So it's something cool that I've never shared or taught in a setting like this. So I think it will add a lot of value for you. And this is the crew. So this is the top 10. And so the takeaways that I'm sharing, I'm not sharing any takeaways from inside the private mastermind with Tony and Dean, meaning when Tony was doing like intervention work, things like that. I can only share my experience on that. I can't share anything confidential from the other 9. However, we had an experience where each of us did a presentation for 20, 30, 40 minutes. And that's where all these takeaways are coming from. So I just want everyone to know, we did sign a confidentiality agreement for when Tony was like doing interventions on us. I'll share my experience, and I made a deal with Tony, what I committed to. But just for if any of these folks happen to be listening, I'm not sharing anything confidential because that is very important, and honor and integrity is key. But the best thing is what I'm sharing are all the takeaways from what we all taught, to each other. This is me making a deal with Tony Robbins. I'll come back to that. Shook his hand, looked him in the eye, and made a deal. So I'll make sure I come back to what that deal was. As you can tell, this inside the studio, Tony just teaching, sharing, doing what he does best, changing and impacting lives. And then this is really awesome. This is where all of us, the affiliates, the top 10 partners, we were in a room together. It's where a lot of these takeaways come from. And we each got an opportunity to do a presentation. And so if any of you have ever been to a mastermind, or if you ever want to do a mastermind, this is one of the greatest things that you can do is you put the right people in the room and then you ask them to share their best stuff, and people get competitive. So I'd love for you to type in the chat box, who here would love to run a mastermind? Who here would love to have a mastermind? So being a part of them is a great idea. Being a part of them is an incredible, incredible way to grow as a person, to grow your business, to grow your contacts, revenues, everything. But it's a great business model as well. And so, it's literally as simple as you can define your niche. You can then, define your niche and get the right people in the room. So that could be, if it's, we've got some clients that have, hey, women over 50 that are faith-based, that are into their health. Okay, cool. Well, let's put those women in a mastermind in person, or it can be done on Zoom, and let's get them together and have them share their best health tip, right? Or in business, it might be, what is your lane? We've got a client who's focusing on Linda. She's doing a great job of this. Not her sole focus, but it's one of her channels, is she's doing leadership development and speaking and training and coaching for realtors. So imagine if Linda put 10 realtors in a room or on a Zoom, and they shared their best strategies. So what's so cool is that you don't have to have experience to be able to do that. That's what I love about a mastermind, is that being in them creates major growth and opportunity. But for you, as if you ever want to make that an offer, you don't have to have all this experience. You don't have to be some guru. You could just take the right people and put them in the room together, and then have them go person to person and make it competitive, almost, where it's like, maybe you give a prize for like the highest, best rated presentation. We do that in our masterminds. And what happens is you're extracting the best wisdom from all of the people in the group, which is super cool. And so if I come back to, let's see if I come back to here. So basically that's what we were doing in the group. And I just want to give you a quick, just so you know who's in the room. So basically we have Russell Brunson. I'm sure many of you know Russell. He's the one who invented and created ClickFunnels. So he does, his company, they do pretty well, a couple $100 million a year, not too bad. Sonia Ricotti, what's very special about, Sonia is she has a very cool ebook process. She writes very short, simple, tangible ebooks. And we're talking like 30 pages. And her, and I'll get to her takeaways, but some of her takeaways were like, write an ebook that people will actually read, not a long book, right? So she leverages ebooks in her marketing funnels, and then she films documentaries, and she'll take 10 people that are all passionate about the same topic and have them in a quote documentary or a docu-series, which is really just a series of videos. It's just a different way to package, what people are doing. So it's very brilliant, and she's done very well. We've got Jesse Ecker. Some people think of him as T. Harv Ecker's son, but he's his own man. He's an incredible guy. He was, to me, I think one of the stars. Like, it was so good meeting him and getting to know him. We've got Ethan, we've got Matt Donaldson. These guys are, paid traffic guys, and they buy a lot of media. They're really good on Google advertising. There's Erwin, there's Danielle Canty. She has a huge following on social media, Boss Babe. Jenna Kutcher, she does incredibly well with her podcast and content. She's got her target market of women. And Jaime Kern Lima. And Jaime Kern Lima, if you don't know her, she built up a cosmetics line called It Cosmetics and sold it to L'Oreal, for over $1 billion. So there's some pretty smart people in the room. Then there's Nick and Megan, life on fire. But the good thing is we had, one of the smallest social followings and smallest email lists out of everybody, but we were still able to, through the strategy I'm going to share, be able to get to first place, which is cool. Okay, so if I come back here, I'm going to get into the strategies in just a moment. I just want to share, how we got to first place, because I believe that one of the greatest ways to create abundance and help people, that is going to help people through this next season, is through affiliate offers. So this slide, what this represents is they put it up, and I really wish Megan was on there. Megan should have been on there. It's not the Nick Unsworth show. It is Nick and Megan. But basically, we got first place. That was the commission generated, which is pretty crazy. $825,000 of commission. Type in the chat box, who here would be like, okay with $825,000? That's a lot of money, right? I mean, that's pretty life-changing for anybody, anywhere in the world. I mean, 100,000 is life-changing for anybody, anywhere in the world. 25,000 is life-changing, right? And I love this quote, that money is not important, but money touches everything that is important. And so, so it's one of these things where, and Zig Ziglar talks about, there's oxygen, money is only second to oxygen. Without money, we can't live, we can't survive, we can't eat, we can't put a roof over our heads. So if anyone has kind of like a little twang in your spirit about money, it's time to let that go. It's time to reframe some of those beliefs and develop an abundant mindset, and let go of some of the stories from the past, or some of the ways that we've been raised. Bible verse greatly taken out of context about, money is the root of all evil. And the Bible verse actually says the love of money is the root of all evil. And so, we want to capture those thoughts. We want to change those thoughts and then reframe them. So I'm going to share a little bit about how we did it, and then, get into the takeaways as well. All right. So let me jump to, okay. So the how we did it, what I'm showing here on the screen, this is a very simple page. I'm actually going to put this in the notes for you. So not just the link to the page, but if there's any of you that use the website building tool or the funnel building tool called ClickFunnels or Groove Pages, I'm going to put the link to what's called the share funnel. So when I send out the replay, you're going to have a link that you can take this whole page that got us to number one. You can push a button and you can put it into your ClickFunnels account, and now it's yours. And of course, you would just change out the video and you would change out, where you see Nick and Megan, and you'd put in your information. But that's a major deal. That's a pretty big deal. Like, imagine if you had the same website that we had that got us to first place. And so the purpose of today is I want to bless you. I want to share what we learned and just catch up. And this is really about us just, connecting and adding value. So, so this page called projectnextbestbonuses.com. And what all this means, I have to, make sure I kind of catch everybody up. Like, what does all this mean? Like, so if I take a step back, being an affiliate simply means that you share somebody else's product or service. And when you do so, you get a commission. And I'd love for you to type in the chat box. Is it easier to sell your own stuff or to sell somebody else's stuff? Type in the chat. Let's see what we got here. Someone else's, right? Because when you're selling your own stuff, that's where a lot of times there's fear, there's nerves, there's, am I really enough to do this? And confidence and all these different things. But when you're sharing somebody else's stuff, especially if you have a personal experience, you're just excited. You're like, oh my gosh, like, this is why I'm passionate about it. This is why I want to share this with you. So you share your personal experience. And so it's way easier to share somebody else's stuff than to share our own stuff. And so we've seen that across many, 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 people. And so being an affiliate, all that means is you get paid a commission to share somebody else's stuff. And that could be a physical product. It could be, you can be an affiliate. You can be an Amazon affiliate. And a lot of, people that do, people that teach people about photos and videos and cameras and gear, how they make a lot of money? They teach people about, oh my gosh, this is how you use the Sony DSLR camera. Oh, and by the way, here's a link to go buy it. Here's a link to the software that I use. Here's a link to the lights that I use. Here's a link to this. So you can be an affiliate for Amazon. You can be an affiliate for just about anything. Most companies in the world have affiliate programs. I had a great conversation with one of our amazing clients. I'm not sure if she's on, Kathy Morenzi. And so, Kathy has this awesome program called Weight Loss God's Way. And, she's just kicking butt. She's been, leveraging our strategies. We've been working with her closely. She's one of our private coaching clients. And so we helped her grow her challenges and get more women into her academy and to help with weight loss and keeping it off and everything. And, helped her do her an event. And then it's like, well, where is she going to go next? Like, how does she scale? And how do we keep growing the company and growing the net revenue? Because it's not what we make, it's what you keep. So many entrepreneurs get really focused on how much can I make? Can I get to $1 million a year? We've got a lot of clients where it's like, they just want to get to 1 million, like no matter what. And it's like, well, I would rather you net more than just be stuck on getting to 1 million or breaking 5 million. And so in the conversation with Kathy, we just talked about, part of how she can grow to the next level is weaving in affiliate offers. And so type in the chat box, why? So we know, benefits of an affiliate offer, we know that you can share someone else's stuff, you can get a commission, but then what else? You don't have to do the work. Like, you don't have to do any of the follow-up, any of the work. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to, do all of the fulfillment that might take place for a long period of time. And it's Kathy Morenzi, Morenzie, Kathy Morenzi. And so if you think about that, as entrepreneurs, how many of you wear a lot of hats? I'm wearing a hat today, right? Left fire hat, boom. How many of you entrepreneurs stack on lots of hats? It's like you're the marketing person, you're the salesperson, you're the customer support, you're the accountant, you're like, oh, you're doing so much stuff. Whereas as an affiliate, you just grow your audience and then you can just share a good thing that's working for you with a personal experience. And so there's a lot of people that this is the only thing that they do. They just are an affiliate. That's it. And being an affiliate, and if that's all that you do, it's a great lifestyle because you can be very diversified, right? So as things change in the markets, like you can have different offers in different industries that would be recession proof. But the thing is, you don't have to do any fulfillment. So friends that I have that are full-time affiliates, they're the ones usually on laptop, like laptop lifestyle kind of people, like on beaches and things and traveling and stuff, because they're not doing live trainings. They're not working with customers. They're not on the phone doing coaching calls or anything like that. And so some people do it just as a full-time career. But the other thing is that if you're already in business like Kathy is, or like I am, or like, I'm sure many of you are, what happens is if you just add in affiliate offers to what you're already doing, you can literally just grow your business without having to create new stuff, without having to spend more time, without having to grind or burn yourself out. So let's think of it like this in terms of Kathy Morenzi. Okay, so her main bread and butter is coaching. It's live, it's recordings, she's got some one-on-one. So that's her program. But imagine if she wove in green drink powder. There's a company called Organifi. Drew Canoli, friends with the guy who created it, and they pay out 50% commission and they get people on a recurring basis where you're buying the green, and basically it's vegetables ground up and it's green juice, right? So it's super healthy. It's awesome, and it's, 50 or $70 a month, but it's a 50% commission. And anyone who's healthy or anyone who's a health coach, that's a really logical, smart thing to weave into the program for gut health and for energy and everything else. And it will help people. So it's like, imagine if Kathy just added that. I've got this thing on called a Whoop band. So it's part of the deal I made with Tony. So I'll bring that in later. I'm kind of leaving an open hook or an open loop, I mean. So the whole thing is, imagine this Whoop band. What it does is it tracks your heart rate. It tracks all these different things in your body, and you can tie it into a community and a coach so that there's transparency and accountability. It is like next level for a coach. Well, Whoop band is like $30 a month. And they have an affiliate program. So that could create recurring revenue for Kathy. So the point is, what I'm trying to make abundantly clear, if you will, is that no matter who you are or what you do, think about the needs of your customers and how are you meeting their needs, right? So if you're meeting their needs with something that you do, what else can you provide them? That would be a major benefit. So, and I want to ask you about your niche and your industry. So in my case, we do coaching, right? So we help people get more leads and make more sales, grow their income, and teach skills, how to write books, how to get on stages. But within that, how many people say, I need help with the tech? That's why we have an affiliate relationship with ClickFunnels. There's thousands of dollars a month that comes into our lives from ClickFunnels just because we shared a resource that helps people. So it's not any extra work on our side. It helps our clients, and it creates this passive income that even if we stopped working, that income would still be coming in. And think of it like that. Like some people look at buying real estate to create passive income. It's like you could be an affiliate for Groove Pages or ClickFunnels or something that has recurring revenue. And if you just share that, with whatever you're talking about and, creating that passive income. So like if Megan and I stopped working completely, if we just said, we're going to run to Fiji and we're going to go hang there with the kids and do whatever, it's like, there's still a pretty tremendous amount of income that will still come in on a regular basis because of these affiliate relationships. But y'all probably, many of you that know us, you don't think of us as like affiliate marketers. We're just trying to serve people. So I want you to type in the chat box, how could you serve your customers with an affiliate offer? So just type in maybe what that would be for your niche, right? So what is it that they need that you're not providing? Could be a software, could be a tool. It could be, oh my gosh, all my customers have to buy this certain thing, right? So even Mitzi says rebounders. Yeah, like a rebounder is like something that you jump on and it's really good for your health. But if Mitzi is talking about a rebounder, why not have an affiliate link so that everybody could, pay for that, right? So let's see here. Joyce says, I'm a simplification coach. Okay. So if you're a simplification coach, you're simplifying their lives, maybe you're help. I mean, to me, a tie-in would be organization, right? So like what if you had a relationship with someone that does organizing at the local house level, like a in-person organizer. Now, think of it like this. Any one of you that has products or services that you share in a group level, have an affiliate relationship for one-on-one. If you're like, I don't do coaching, I don't have the time for it. Well, have a relationship with somebody who does, because the reality is your customers, your prospects, there are people that want one-on-one. If you only do one-on-one and you're like, that's my focus right now, have a relationship with someone that does what you don't do. So notice what I'm saying here is I'm helping you think abundantly to create abundance now, and it doesn't impact your time negatively at all. It's literally, and you can even survey your customers. You can just say, how else can I serve you? I'm helping you with speaking and writing books and this and getting more customers. What am I missing? What's your biggest challenge or frustration in business? And imagine if I did that survey. And what if you came back to me and said, I'm just so annoyed with bookkeeping, with, tax time comes and I don't know what to do. And it's frustrating. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm creative. I don't like to do bookkeeping. Who here does not like to do bookkeeping? So if people don't like to do bookkeeping, imagine if every year just became part of our lives, end of January, what if I just sent an email out to our customer and said, hey, check it out. Here's our bookkeeper. And what if I had a relationship with the bookkeeper and everyone that signs up, they pay $200 a month. We get $50 a month recurring revenue every month. I don't currently do that. I'm just saying that's like, I'm just thinking through different options. Or what if we had an affiliate relationship with QuickBooks or some tax prep plan? So just know your customers. And one of the things that came up with Tony and Dean is that we want you to be a necessity, not a nice to have. So there are clear signs, obviously that the economy is turning, things are shifting, and we want you to be a utility, right? So how do you be a utility? How do you be a necessity? Like, think about this, think about no matter what happens, like this thing, our cell phones, are people going to stop paying their cell phones? Or are people going to say, the heck with the cell phone, right? I don't need that. Absolutely not. People will lose their house before they lose their cell phone. You know what I mean? So how do you create that level of being a necessity? And so for some of you right now, your business may not be a necessity, but you might have an audience that you're growing or building, or you might have some customers that you're growing or building that you can share something with them that maybe would be a necessity. It's like when people, we've been an affiliate for a company called Infusionsoft. They're now called Keep. So they're what's called a CRM, a customer relationship manager. What happens is anyone that uses a platform like that, all of your contacts are in there, and people use it and they need it forever if you're in business. So that we have people that signed up for that software through us years ago that we still get paid on every single month. And no, it's not like I don't run around and I'm just talking about Infusionsoft all the time. It's just, we just recommend it. We have resources lists, and then there are some situations where we will share it. So I hope that basically what I'm really trying to express in this piece is that for every single one of you, right, for all of us, we have a great opportunity to just add in affiliate offers to what we're already doing to immediately create more abundance without having to learn new skills, without having to, do more work, and your customers will be thankful. Like if you had a problem and you're like, oh my gosh, Nick, I need a bookkeeper, and I give you a bookkeeper, you're gonna be like, thank you, Nick. And if there's an affiliate commission that happens, are you gonna be upset? No, you'd be like, hey, you deserve it. It's great. So that's super, super important, is affiliate offers with where things are going. And so now I'm going to quickly break this down. So if that's what affiliate marketing is, and that's how affiliate offers work, and how I can create more abundance now with them, then what did we do with this Tony Robbins thing? So this is a little bit of a different strategy. I want you to think of this as we were affiliates, And this is like a launch strategy. So you probably have seen in the industry, right? I mean, everybody is launching something, right? There's, we've got our challenge and someone does this and someone does that. So when somebody is, quote, launching something, the benefit of a launch is that there's lots of people working together. So when Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi do their, quote, launch, they get thousands of affiliates that promote them. So we know, because I've done this strategy literally as early as 2010, this is how I got started. I became a Facebook quote marketing expert with no experience. And I recognized, I said, you know what? These people launch stuff all the time. And there's all these experts launching stuff. And I was like, imagine if I was an affiliate and I just shared their stuff, because I've always been passionate about my mentors. So people who I've been coached from, I was always just happy to share them. And so how do you become an affiliate? You just reach out to the company. And, I would say 8, 9 times out of 10, they already have this figured out. They already have a program. And if they don't, usually they'll be like, okay, cool. We'd love to get you a link and give you access to it. So what happens is that when someone does this big launch, there's all this buzz. And in this niche of online marketing and this industry, right, there's a lot of buzz about it. And all we did was say, hey, if you're going to buy their program anyway, buy it through us, Nick and Megan, and we're going to give you all these bonuses. And so that's all that this means is, they launched this thing called Project Next about how to turn your knowledge into a course. And we said, hey, we really like Tony. We really like Dean. We do similar stuff, but you know what? We want to, share what they're up to because we believe in it. And oh, by the way, if you buy their stuff through us, you're going to get all these bonuses. So I'm just going to quickly walk through. This is not active or anything. So there's nothing for sale right now. Right. So I'm just teaching you what we did so that you could duplicate it. And now if you look at it and say, well, how did Nick and Megan beat all these other, people that had way bigger businesses and bigger audiences? And this is what leveled the playing field. And this is how I did this back in 2010, where I had no email list. I had no influence. I had no social following. And honestly, at the time, I had no money. I literally scratch and clawed to get some customers, in my business. And I took that money and I reinvested it into this. And the whole big strategy is that nobody knows the real value of these online programs and stuff. So I made it real simple that if you buy the program, the first big bonus is that you would get a physical product like an Apple Watch. And so, even in 2010, when someone would buy a program through me, we gave them an iPad at the time, because they might not know how to value what is Nick's Facebook Mastery Summit training worth. They might say, I don't know, Nick, or I don't know you. I don't know what any of this means, but I do know what an Apple Watch means. And I do know that thing is worth $200. So notice what I'm doing here is that, and I've done it for over a decade, right? Is with no brand and with no influence, I just gave something physical. So it was like, hey, if you're going to buy this program anyway, buy it through us and you're going to get this physical Apple Watch. And then if you scroll down, it's like, oh, and you're going to get our, abundance event, and that's coming up. And I'll talk about abundance at the end. It's in July. We'd love for you to be there. If you're on the line, you've gotten tickets to it, 90% off tickets. And then, so we gave away, basically we gave away things that are complementary to the niche. So if anyone who was interested in buying this thing, we said, we're going to give you all this other cool stuff to help you create success faster. Implementation workshop, how to sell courses. Notice this, course selling mastery. They're buying a thing called Project Next about how to create a course. So I gave them a bonus. Here's how to sell a course. We've sold, well over $10 million of courses. So here's how we did it, So notice how the bonuses are congruent with the offer. And we say, you know what, if you're creating a course, you're probably going to need to know how to run some ads. So here's this really cool bonus about how to run ads. And, Facebook group for community and business in a box. So we gave all these, bonuses. We know tech is a challenge. So it was like, hey, we gave these bonus tech calls. We gave this another bonus, basically lots of bonuses. And then it has all the information. And what people would do is they would click on our link to purchase. And then at the end of the day, they'd get all these bonuses. So I'll put the link in the chat. In the notes, when I send out the replay, I will have not only the link to this thing, but I'll give you the actual page. And what I mean by that is you'll have the page that you could use it. And so that particular strategy would be if someone's doing this big promotion, you can leverage that promotion, share your bonuses. And if your only bonus was something physical, so for example, at a $1,000 program, we got a $500 commission. We gave away a $200 watch. We're up how much money, right? We were up $300. And the other thing that happened, now this is the other major part of creating abundance with this, is that when we promoted Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, this is wild. We would have Tony's face, Nick and Megan's face, Dean's face in an ad. And what happens is if you're new in this industry and you put your face next to someone who has influence and you share it on social media and you promote it, that your influence grows. So what happens is basically as we shared this, we had a lot of people that were like, oh my gosh, like that now know who we are. Our brand grew because of association. So that's why if you've ever been to an event, take a picture with the speakers, right? You look at, it's called social proof. I mean, if you want to build trust really fast, if you've got pictures with other influencers in your niche, it's going to be very helpful. Now, the other thing is that when we promoted this for them, every single person that opted in, we also had access to. Think about that. So we had 40,000 people that opted in through us, through our efforts for their thing. And we still built our email list off of someone else's stuff. So imagine if you're new, right? And you don't have an email list or even a product. You could promote someone else's stuff and build up an email list and build up a buyer's list. And we had over 1,000 people that purchased, well over 1,000. And what happened is all of the people that purchased creates a buyer's list that we got to serve with our bonuses. And, remember that slide I put up that showed it was like 850,000 that like Nick and Megan made, and we woohoo. But here's the thing is that better than that, that was a drop in the bucket compared to all of the people that got to know Nick and Megan and Life on Fire, many of you that came into our Life on Fire family community. And we served with these bonuses and we served at our in-person events and served and served and served. And then you know what? A lot of those people said, I want some coaching by Nick and Megan. I want to be in the Accelerate program, or I want to come to Abundance, or, I want to buy their bestseller on fire training or their speaker on fire training. So the point I'm making is that while we grew our brand, we grew our email list, we grew our revenues, we grew our buyers list, but that was only the first phase. The second phase is that all of those buyers got to know us. And of those buyers, a lot of people also chose to work with us. And that represents more income and benefit than the initial commission, if that makes sense. So basically, it's a really cool strategy. I hope that adds value to you. And type in the chat box if on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is like, you know what, I'll find a way to take what I just learned in 42 minutes and add an affiliate offer to your existing stack of offers. 10 would be, yes, I'm definitely going to implement this and I'm going to get results and come back and tell you. 1 would be like, heck no, what am I doing here? And I don't even know who you are. Hopefully I don't see any 1s. Cool. I see a lot of 10s. And so no, and I want to make sure I'm clear is that having an affiliate offer is strategy A. Promoting an affiliate offer during a quote launch is strategy B. And I did both of those when I was brand new, created income. And again, if Megan and I stopped working, if we did absolutely nothing, there would be thousands and thousands of dollars a month that would come in recurring without us doing anything. No customer support, no answering emails, nothing. And so we can go buy real estate and create income, a passive income. You can create a lot of money and put it in the stock market and get, annuities and create recurring income, or also affiliate marketing is cool. So I hope that helps. It's a great way to create abundance now, which is part of the goal of the training. All right, sweet. So let me jump back to All right, so more on the takeaways. So that's how we got there. That's the affiliate marketing model. For any newcomers that jumped on board, I believe that affiliate marketing is going to be major in this next season, and it just works incredibly well. One of the things that we talked about a little bit about, Tony and Dean brought some good perspective about the market changing. It's very easy to be in fear. So we have our abundance event coming up in July. One of the best things that you can do would be, to get your mindset to a place of complete and total abundance, because where people are going to panic and see fear, if you are hanging with us in the Life on Fire family, literally, I'm not kidding you, the greatest time to be an entrepreneur is going to be in the next 2 years, because the market is going to shrink. Your competitors are going to go away. And literally every single time this happens in the history of our economy, this is what Tony and Dean broke down. They said, they broke down every single recession, every single bubble, and they had all these cool statistics. It was like, when the dot-com burst, when the 2007 and 2008 burst, when they talked about the Great Depression, every single time the greatest wealth transfer happened right after the dip, right after, the economy crashed. And so that's why if we could band together, have some affiliate offers, diversify your income so that you can weather the storm, and then be that utility and be a necessity, not a nice to have. And so what's crazy is some of you might say, shoot, you know what, my program, it's actually a nice to have because it's not a necessity. However, if your business currently today is a nice to have, and what is a nice to have? A nice to have is a luxury. A nice to have is something that is not critical to someone's living their lives. It's like, people might want to whiten their teeth or like get Botox or whatever, but is that a necessity or nice to have? That's like a total nice to have. Like that's, and I'm not saying it's even nice to have those things, but my point is that if you're in a business that is a nice to have business, you can be an affiliate for the utility. You can be an affiliate for something that is so essential that they'll never get rid of, which is key. Now, let me ask you a question. I think this is big. Your business right here, right now, is your business and what you do for people, your service, your product. Type in nice to have and be honest, or type in, what I do is a total necessity. So type in nice to have or a necessity. Okay, so we got a lot of nice to haves, right? And so that's okay, because if you've got a nice to have business, this is no problem. You've got time to make some pivots. You could be an affiliate for things that are necessities. I would also say that one of the greatest, and this is, for those of you that know me really well, like I always talk about success stories. I always talk about results. It's everything in business. But I really believe that in this next season, like the currency, like the most important part of a business is the fruit, right? So like you can know a great church by its fruit. You can know a great coach by the fruit of the coach, meaning the success stories. So for you to have abundance, staying power, and be just dominate and just grab market share and just crush it in this next season, I want you to think about success stories, because success stories is what sells. People don't want to take a risk on signing up for something and not sure if it's going to work, because there's been a lot of people that sell stuff that doesn't work, right? So I would say right now is, what can you do to go next level with your success stories? If we think about for Megan and I, with our clients in the academy, bestseller on fire, like we're doing more in fulfillment. We're adding to our fulfillment. And it's like, we're like, every success story is like more reps when you're working out. Like you're going to have bigger biceps, you're going to be stronger. And so we're on this tear. Like Megan, with our Accelerate coaching clients, she does these Tuesday calls, and she is on such a mission to work with every single client. Me on my hot seats, it's like whatever we can do to refine those success stories so that it becomes undeniable, the power of coaching. And when I think about coaching and I say, oh my goodness, is my business a nice to have or is it a necessity? And it's interesting because coaching, and I'm curious, I should put it in the chat box. Is coaching, business coaching, is it a nice to have or a necessity? We'll see what the jury says. Okay, Sally. Sally says necessity. Katie Smith, necessity. Mr. and Mrs. Oh, it went too fast. Necessity. Look at you. Dang, I love it. So we got some nice to haves. And here's the thing is that when we are, it's like, when do you need a coach? Do you need a coach when you're kicking butt and everything's good? And you can make it better? Yeah, for sure. Or do you need a coach when, stuff hits the fan and it's just like, we got to get through this thing. We got to get resourceful. We got to increase our skills. Right. So I believe that coaching is a necessity. I know for me and Megan, it's like when things constrict, we're not reducing our coaching budget and saying, oh, shoot, let's get rid of this coach. It's like, no. Coaches are designed, and the purpose of coaching is to help you get more and to create more and to, and to grow. And so, which is key. And so, big thing is focusing, tripling down on success stories. So the more tangible you can make them, the better. That will help you stand out. Because just think, as people get nervous and fear starts to infiltrate the news and everything else, you can be like, not today, devil. Like, here, look at this. Check out what, Mark's doing. Check out what Jacintha's doing. Check out what Luisa's doing. Like that right there. Like, think about it. You see panic. And then you see Luis and Jose and Stacy, and they're posting about, I don't know what y'all are talking about, but check out that scoreboard. Check out what my client just did. Check out what Linda just did. She just got paid to speak at Keller Williams. Check out what Kathy just did. Right. So that is, to me, is just, it's the absolute insulation to the risk of a down market, and it will keep you so strong, and that will build up. So success stories, whatever you need to do to focus on that, to drill down, is going to be absolutely key in creating abundance. All right, so let me jump to, we did have some really cool takeaways about what is working. So basically, you've got a room of 10 people who are like all marketers, right? So it was very geeky, very nerdy. Some of the stuff, it was just like, so Google SEO, this, that. It was like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you the best nuggets, minus some of the stuff that was just way technical. Because how many of you know that, we got to be able to implement it and put it into action. And if it's too complicated, too crazy, we just don't do it. So these takeaways are, and I'll share who they're from. This right here is from Jenna Kutcher and Russell Brunson. And so both of them do, they run great businesses. Russell Brunson has access to a ton of data because they have hundreds of thousands of people in their community that all do these webinars and funnels and different stuff. So what's working today? Like what strategy? So what I'm referring to now is what marketing strategy is working. So you got to figure that things always ebb and flow, things change, right? So Megan and I, we've done online challenges for about 6 years. And the why we have been doing online challenges is because that was our way 6 years ago of saying, we're going to add more value. We're not going to just do a webinar. We're going to do 7 sessions. We're going to do it live. We're going to do so much more than everybody else. And it worked and worked and worked and worked. As challenges have become way more popular, it's like a lot of stuff for people to do. So what's interesting is that the market is now like, just give me the answer. You know what I mean? Like just the least amount of time humanly possible. So think of it like this, is that just because everybody's talking about challenges right now, and we obviously love challenges, but we recognize that the market is changing. So it's like shorter is better, short and sweet, less fluff, jumping right into the material, ditching whatever, scripts or people sell like, oh, how to do webinars. It's like, and we've got a great method for a webinar, but the more you can ditch the fluff and just jump in and like lead by adding value, not by posturing and positioning. And so the big takeaways that they proved with data is that short webinars are working better, cut the fluff, get right into the meat and taters of what it is. And then the big thing is evergreen webinars. So obviously we're live right now. Some of you might be watching the replay tomorrow or wherever, but that, live has been the main thing for a long time, for the past few years. Excuse me. And what's interesting is that evergreen webinars, so it's just me. Oh, hold on one second. I had a little cold, but I don't believe that you guys get me all fired up just being on here teaching and talking. but I had a little cold earlier, but I believe it's gone now. So Evergreen Webinars, all that means is it's something that someone can access immediately. And what's interesting is, you can look at it and say, well, isn't that just a video? Like, what's the difference between an Evergreen Webinar and just giving somebody a video? Well, what happens is that an Evergreen Webinar it's on demand. So someone doesn't have to wait until the live session. So basically, through enough data from enough people in the room, it was kind of like, hey, this is really interesting that live webinars are almost a little bit less effective now than Evergreen, which is crazy because if it's Evergreen, you can get your more time back and it runs all the time. And so Evergreen just means they land on the page and there's always one starting in the next 15 minutes. There's always one starting. There's like 3 choices, 5 choices. They also proved that out of all the ways to set these things up, forget about having one starting tomorrow, one starting on Thursday or Friday, that you set it up to just every 5 minutes. They see the ad or they see the email, they see your social post, and then literally, oh, convenient. There's one starting in 5 minutes. And now what's interesting from a psychology perspective is you could look at it and say, why not just they opt in and give them the video and they can watch it whenever they want to watch it. The craziest thing is the psychology of there's one starting in 5 minutes and that webinar, they can't fast forward. They can't hit pause. They have to sit through the whole thing. I have been of the mindset multiple times to say, isn't that annoying? Wouldn't it be better to just give them the controls, allow them to speed it up even, allow them to pause it, allow them to take notes and go back to it? But the reality, what's so crazy about human nature is that if people have that choice, they literally just don't follow through, a high percentage of them, right? So the fact that it doesn't stop, it just goes, and whether they watch it or not. So basically, that's this strategy of Evergreen Webinars is working better than anything else. Also, fortunately for all of you, instead of having to think about how do I put one of these together or what do I use, there's Webinar, there's Webinar Fuel, there's Easy Webinar. These are the 3 top ones in the whole wide world. And these people have tried everything. And they're like, don't mess around. Don't even research it. These are the 3 best. Now, obviously, I don't have an affiliate link for you here right now, but like that would have been the smart idea, right? If I was like, here's when I sent out the notes, like, here's a link for every webinar. Here's a link for Webinar Fuel. Here's a link for this. We have to get better at, doing that as well. But like, how many people look at this like, okay, if this is the best strategy, according to Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, Jenna Kutcher, Alex Hormozy, and all these cool people, it's like, shoot, I should probably use it. So how many people would use the tool? And then, we've been an affiliate for Everwebinar, and we still have commissions that come in from Everwebinar. And it's like people pay on an annual basis and we'll still get checks from it. And it's like, that's crazy. But anyway, the point of this is what's working incredibly well. And so you'll see us, in the coming months, like, kind of pivoting to this. And so I think one of the big cool things about you being here with us right now is this will put you way ahead of the market, right? And a lot of what marketing is being ahead of the curve, seeing what people don't see yet, and being in the right circles, in this case, in the Life on Fire family, to just know where to pivot to before everybody else. It's a major competitive advantage. And so let's see. And someone's saying something about the screen. It's still on the screen. Yes. So you should still see my screen. And cool. All right, cool, sweet. And then I'm going to share some takeaways from Jesse Ecker. And I thought this was really interesting. And his main topic was about buyer safety. And I just never thought about that. I never, heard it, buyer safety, in that way. And he was just saying that, we got to think about it. That, I'll put it this way. How many of you have bought something in the past and they didn't follow through? How many of you feel like you've been taken advantage of by somebody that sold you something online and it just either wasn't what you expected, it didn't work, or honestly, they just didn't fulfill, right? So Billy said last week, I see a lot of me's, right? And so I know for me personally, I bought tons of stuff. And there's some truth behind, I wasn't ready to take action on some of it. But some of it was a total scam. Some of it was just, it didn't work, or it was outdated and there was no value, right? And so look at how many of you have said, this just happened, right? Like, look at how many yeses. So a really good takeaway is talking about buyer safety. All right. And recognizing great marketing is putting yourself in the shoes of your prospect. You want to be in their mind. You want to know their pains and their challenges. Well, if so many people have been taken advantage of, we got to talk about that. So if I'm on a Evergreen webinar and I'm sharing our offer and I say, look, how many of you have bought something before and you've been taken advantage of, pop in the chat box. And they're like, oh yeah, a lot of people. And say, me too. And I share my personal experience. I bought in tons of things that's happened. And then, so I acknowledge it, I talk about it, and then I make a commitment to them and say, here's how we're going to be different. Here's our guarantee. Here's here's our success stories. We've been in business for 10 years, so like, but if we don't acknowledge this, how many sales are you currently losing because you haven't addressed buyer safety? So that's how there's more, like, literally this concept is like, how does this slide make me any money? Or how does this slide create abundance? And how it creates abundance for you is by you mentioning buyer safety and you acknowledging that and meeting your prospects where they are, making them feel safe, making them feel as important as they are, showing them results and how much you care about them. That will set you apart. That will help you land more deals, get more customers while your competitors keep doing the same old thing. So I hope you enjoy that. That's a big one from Jesse Ecker. It's a big takeaway. This next one here is The Power of an Ebook. And this is from Sonia Ricotti. And so she was so fun to get to know. And she's just on fire. I mean, it's just wild. And she was just saying that, by having an ebook, and it might be a book that's on Amazon, but you have an ebook version. That's the beauty of self-publishing, is just make it in an ebook. And we're not talking about something big. We're talking about, I mean, she showed hers, hers was 32 pages. And the first few pages had images and different things. It's like, think of it as, I mean, it might only even be 25 pages of actual content, but it doesn't have to be even big, little font. It's like, make it as simple as possible. Because her whole thing was, when people finish a book, they feel, and this is ninja. Okay. When people finish a book, how do you feel? Let me ask you that question. When you finish a book, how do you feel? When you finish a book, how do you feel? Dr. Robert, I love it. Welcome, Dr. Robert. Tina, Enoch, Maria, Jill, Lucinda, proud, accomplished. When you finish a book, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I'm 5'10". I finish a book, I feel 6 feet tall all day long. Where's my guys out there below 6 feet? But like, you feel so good and accomplished. So what she figured out, and I think this is gold. And I'm really excited for you to have this nugget, is that you have an ebook, and I don't care if it's 20 pages, make it short, make it sweet, put a couple pictures in there. But what happens is a couple things. Number one is, when they go to opt in, the fact that it's an ebook, that creates immediate positioning. Oh, the author of this ebook, right? So there's a positioning, there's trust, and it's a low barrier to entry. It's not like, oh, I got to watch this whole webinar. Oh, I got to be live for something, or I got to watch this Evergreen webinar. So her whole thing was that, that the opt-in rate for an ebook, she's talking about 65, 75% of people that land on the page say, yep, give me the ebook, because they can skim it. They can read it. They don't have to sit around and wait for something, right? Because how many of you, I mean, even like on today, you're like, okay, cool. I'm here for the nuggets and takeaways, but dang, if I just gave you an ebook with them written out with a blurb for each, that more of you probably would have been like, I want that. So, meeting people where they're at, and not that many people do this strategy. So you're unique. But the point is, if I run a webinar or if I run a challenge, I might only have 30% of the people that land on the page put in their email. What she's talking about is doubling the amount of people that will say yes. That's called doubling your conversion rate. And so if you double your conversion rate, she might be spending $1 for an email opt-in lead, or I might be spending double that or more than that. Or, like in my case, we might spend 5 or 10, and she's spending 1 or 2 because this is so desirable. And then the second thing is they get it, they read it, they feel accomplished. And then after the ebook, she takes them not to just a video or a live webinar. She goes from ebook to a evergreen webinar. She uses Webinar, and she's been doing this for years. It's the same one. She doesn't change it. It's unbelievable. She has made so many tens of millions of dollars with this, and she has her time. She's like, I don't know why you guys are always launching stuff. You guys are always doing all this stuff. You guys are always working so hard. And she's like, I've got an ebook to an evergreen webinar and I have a good life. So it's huge. So that, I mean, we've all probably heard about ebooks and stuff, but there's some ninja-ness to this because it's short so that they finish it and then it goes right to the webinar. And inside the ebook, it basically is seeding and setting up what she'll offer on the webinar. So, which is cool. So yeah, Deb says ninja-ness. Absolutely. Okay, cool. This is from Danielle Canty, who is just amazing. We had so much fun getting to know her. And so she called it the creator economy. So that where we're heading, there's a lot of, with where we're going, content is always going to be king and queen. So look at like how massive a company Netflix and now everyone's trying to create, content, and there's the different, all the different channels. Everyone has like their own monthly recurring content, platform now. And so content is everything. And, and she's talking about it as, instead of it being the influencer economy, she found through surveying her audience and things that people don't really like or identify with the phrase influencer. And so she pivoted, and this is a little takeaway, but everything to revolve around creator, not influencer. And her big belief is that, those who are out creating content, especially when people are panicking and in fear, are going to be the ones that create major abundance, create major followings, create incredible businesses that literally change people's lives and change the world. So her whole thing was like, y'all, it's time to get going on the content. Get your YouTube channel up, get out on Instagram and start posting. And so we all know about content. That's nothing new. But what's interesting is thinking about it as, how many people are going to need your message as there's more panic and fear? How many people where it's like, that what you share will change people's lives and truly help them through it. And we want to be the light. So, for Life on Fire, for Megan and I, and for many of you that that are clients, it's like, if we can go be the light in the marketplace during a dark moment of our economy or in history or whatever, it's like, that is so needed. And that is going to stand out so much. And so, she really believes that the creator economy is going to be huge in the coming months and years, as it always is. Takeaway from Russell Brunson is he calls it the MIFKI, which I think came from Dan Kennedy. Russell, there's one of these old school techniques is, when you name stuff, it becomes something, right? But he was basically drilling down on the MIFKI. So that's a phrase for the most incredible free gift ever. And he was saying, move the free line. Give something better than everybody else. Make your free gift better than everybody else's in the marketplace. Crush your competition. Make it undeniably better. And so there is an old school mindset that if you're going to give something away in your webinar, if you're going to teach something, we have to withhold. And when they buy, they get all the answers. The reality is, what people are buying is community. They're buying the answers, but they're also buying the method of learning. They're buying the coaching, the accountability, the experience. And so it was kind of like, don't be shy. Don't be withholding anything. Don't worry that, if you teach all your good stuff and then they buy, it won't be as good. Bottom line, what he's saying is, give your best stuff and give it as a free gift, as a MIFKI, get the people to opt in, grow your email list. And the next big message from Russell, which was very interesting, is, he's very passionate about books. And if you think about it, like, type in the chat box, what book has completely changed your life? Like what book has shifted your life? Like, think about the Bible. Like, think about what books do. I'll never forget. My mom gave me a book when I was down and out, considering taking my own life, when I was in a place of just total despair. And my mom hands me a flipping book and I read it and I catch a second wind to live. We've got a client, Eric Yang. The guy was going to kill himself. He goes into a store, buys a book called Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins' book, reads it, and decides to live. I mean, books change people's lives. But his big point was that books live on. And he was saying things like, the last event that you did, the event dies when everybody leaves. So events are impactful, but from a legacy perspective, that books will live on. And so he's on a mission. He just built like a library, just bought $6 million worth of books, and he has like the original Think and Grow Rich and all these cool books. And what he's doing is he's going out and he wants to package amazing people who are alive still and get their work into a book. Because even courses like let's just say, if we're, oh my gosh, the Life on Fire Academy, like we think it's the best course ever, but that course is not going to live on. The reality is a book will. And an event, it could be the best. I mean, we believe our abundance event is the most life-changing transformational event in the entire industry. And we're super duper proud about it. But it's like, as he was saying, like that event comes and goes, and we might create a tremendous amount of good for people, but an actual book about the abundance event would allow that concept and the exercises and the things that we do at the abundance event to live on far longer than our lifetimes. So very, very interesting on that side. Who here knows, type in yes if you know you've got a book on the inside of you, and it's probably time to get it out. I mean, think about what we've learned so far, right? Like, shoot, now is the time to take that book, get it out, at least get an ebook out, right? And for many of you have probably noticed, you've seen Nick and Megan Life on Fire, where we've made some pivots. We are focusing on books, we're focusing on speaking, because quite frankly, that the challenges are getting harder. Running ads is getting harder, so we're not going to be those people, teaching stuff that's becoming harder and harder. It's like, no, we've got to always be ahead of the game. We've got to be ahead of the curve. Same with you and your business. And so book is a major competitive advantage. Book gets you on stages. Book creates a legacy. Book will get you clients, lots and lots and lots of clients. Okay. I'm going to drill down right now into mobile marketing strategies. This is something that I shared, and I'll be kind of quick on this. This is something that I shared. This was my presentation to the whole room, and how we looked at it. And this was Dean's challenge to us. Dean said, all right, there's 10 of us in the room, like we do every year. Bring your best stuff. Like, what's going to truly help each other grow their business, have an abundant mindset. Don't be worried about people stealing your stuff. Like, bring your best stuff. And so that's what we did. And one of the things I knew that would bless everybody in the room, which I believe will also bless you guys as well, is I created this fancy little document here, breaks it down. I will have a link to this document on the notes when I send out the replay tomorrow as well. And basically, what it is my title of my presentation was double your text opt-in rates, double your profit, double your fun. remember the double mint gum commercial? I might be dating myself. Who here remembers that? Anybody? Angela's with me. Okay, I'm not alone. Jeff does. All right. Phew. All right. So here's the thing. Like, what's crazy is when I think about our business, where do we at? Like, if we have like the webinar today, shoot, we have almost 800 people on live. And like, how did that happen? How do we have 800 people? Like, that's amazing. And for most people, they see the text, right? How many of you open up your text messages? How many of you look at your emails and you miss a bunch of emails? You know what I mean? Emails come and go. We forget about them. We delete them, or we just miss them. But everybody at least notices the text. And so text and mobile marketing, it is the future. This is how you create abundance now in your business. If you don't have mobile marketing, it's super easy to get going and get set up. Is that every time someone opts in for anything that you're doing, give them an opportunity to pop in their phone number. And like, literally think of it like this. Like, imagine if you can just grow, all right, you've got 10 phone numbers, you've got 20 phone numbers, right? You've got 30, in your database. Like, I would rather have 100 phone numbers than 1,000 email addresses. Think about that. For some of you, you look at it and say, oh my gosh, getting 1,000 people to opt in for your stuff, that can seem like a big daunting challenge. But any one of us can go out and go get 10, 20, 30 folks to opt in with their phone numbers. And those phone numbers are way, 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 way 100 times more valuable, 10 times more valuable, at least, if not 100 times more valuable. So when we look at and analyze Life on Fire and all the things that we do, shoot, I mean, emails are becoming less likely to get into inboxes. It drives us nuts. We spend all this money and all this, time to get we have a new email platform and all this stuff. And it's like, and sometimes we still end up in the spam folder. We still end up in the promotions folder but our texts get through. So anyway, that's important for where we're going is mobile marketing. So I have like an overview. And the one thing I share, and this is pretty huge, is that I'm going to give you an example, is that what most people do is this is an example of our bestseller on fire. This is like a free training that we did that's over at this point. But what most people do is they click and they say first name, email, and then phone. And what happens is when you have the phone here, even if it's not a required field, meaning they can skip it and they can still join, because the phone number is there, you have a little bit of a reduction of your conversion rate. So we don't have the phone number anywhere present on here. So if I hit register, it submits. And then on the next page, here's where we ask for the phone number. And part of how we realized how big of a deal this really is that when we did this, we had Dean Graziosi. Part of what we won is that Dean promoted us. So they sent over 11,000 people to us on this very page. And their CMO, their chief marketing officer, was like, Unsworth, what on earth are you guys doing? This is crazy. How do we have so many people putting in their phone number? And I said, what do you mean? He said, you're getting more than twice as many people, more than double are putting on your phone number than what we do on any of our pages. And you could argue Dean is one of the best marketers in the world. And I said, well, Charlie, that's because we do not ask for the phone number on the opt-in page. We ask for it on what's called the thank you page, this second page. This is like the tiniest adjustment. Isn't that crazy? Like if I go back to it, bestseller buyer.com, right? If I go back to it and you think, okay, so all we're talking about, just so everyone's clear, we're talking about we either put the phone number here on the quote opt-in page, or we put the phone number here after they've given you their email. So that's the only tweak. It's the only adjustment. I hope that you look at this and say, I could do that, right? Like that's like a 1 minute, 60-second adjustment for you to make that change. But the difference is more than double of the amount of people that give you their phone number. And it is crazy. And so, so that, and they do this, they're some of the best marketers in the world. And I said, yeah, Charlie, the reason why it's double is because we have this here instead of on the other page. And it blew Charlie's mind. And it literally for Dean's company, I mean, it's going to lead to millions of dollars in revenue. Like it's a big share. It's a really big deal, doubling your opt-in rate. So, but I have all the information here. I'll put it in the notes and I give the examples, I give the numbers, screenshots, so everyone's clear. Also from a compliance standpoint, we spent a lot of money to figure all this out. So, literally one consultant alone was $25,000 and worth every penny because of the results we got. And this one paragraph here, for any of you that do anything with mobile marketing, this paragraph is worth a tremendous amount of money, because if you don't have it, you can get in big, huge trouble. And very few people have done the legal work to know exactly what to say there. So we got this for you. We've got our privacy policy that you've got to have if you're collecting people's phone numbers. That's another $10,000 of legal fees that we put together. You can model every piece of this. I want you to be like, this is the best thing ever. I don't have to worry about any of all that stuff or pay any of that money. You can just do it. Just model our stuff. We got you. We got you. We love you. You're part of the Life on Fire family, and we are here to serve. Okay. So I do have some resources here. I would say Slick Text is absolutely phenomenal. We're looking at actually moving everything over to them just to make our lives easier and also save some money. And another one that is a good way to get started that doesn't cost much. You could have a very small database. You could pay as you go. There's like no ongoing monthly fee. It's called Call Loop, CALLOOP, Call Loop. And so that will be incredibly helpful. Now, notice, I don't have affiliate links here, but imagine if I did. It would be a good idea, right? Because if imagine out of 800 people plus the replay, so let's call it 1,500 people that look at this. And what if there's 100, 200 people that say, oh my gosh, I should probably use Slick Text. And what if this was an affiliate link? I'm coaching myself here. And what if that generated a few thousand a month of revenue? So I could be sleeping or not working and it's being generated. So that's how affiliate marketing, notice how that kind of comes full circle, ties in. It doesn't have to be, I'm teaching something, I'm giving for free, and I could literally give this for free and I could create income by having affiliate links inside of here. And no one would be upset. Like, type in the chat box, would you be upset? Or would you be like, no, that's great. Like, hey, I learned something. I'm going to do this, right? Like, everybody wins. So that's pretty cool. So that is the mobile marketing. I'll have that sheet in there. And then last thing I want to share is I had a slide in the very beginning and it said that I made a deal with Tony Robbins. And it was, so my question was going to be about like the economy and investing. And he kind of answered that. And this, I truly believe this is all God and how God works. And so I had to submit my question like a month before we got there. And so I text, Dean and his team members, CEO, and I'm like, hey, can I change my question? I know we're like totally not supposed to do that, but can I change it? Because he basically answered it. And they said, yeah, go for it. And so then it came to me, and because we're the first number one affiliate, we're sitting in the first seat, so we're up first. And so it came to me, and I just said, I said, you know what? I'm going to just kick things off. And anytime you're in a mastermind, whoever goes first sets the tone for like the whole thing. And I said, I'm going to just set the tone. I'm going to come in. I'm going to be like super vulnerable and just lay it all out there. My company's called Life on Fire, Health, Wealth, Love, and Faith. We're kicking butt, help people, on the wealth side. We're kicking butt on the faith side. Marriage has never been better, and our kids. And then on the health side, I'm not living like how I want to be living on the health side. And it's been this up and down journey for a long time. And some of you probably know that. You've heard this from me before. And so Tony, I just pulled the pictures, comes over and kind of like looks in my eyes through my soul. And he's like, can I intervene right now? And I'm like, yes, Tony. And what he shared is basically how to change your identity and change who you are and your way of being on a certain topic. And so if we think about your life, right, what's an area of your life that's not perfect right now? And not that everything needs to be perfect, but like everybody has something. Like maybe you're kicking butt with your health, but maybe you're not doing so great financially. So we don't ever need to have perfection in all areas, but I want to at least be congruent. I felt out of integrity in the space being with a company called Life on Fire, and it's health, wealth, love, and faith. Health is first. Money doesn't matter at all without health. And he looked at me and he said, he said, a healthy person has 1,000,000 wishes. A sick person has one wish. And I was like, okay, got some goosebumps. Okay. And then he just started talking about, well, how do we shift this? And so it's one of these things where there's our conscious mind and then there's our unconscious mind. And that's why we do our whole abundance event, is that our abundance event helps people break through things that they can't break through on their own consciously. I'm leading the abundance event. What I need to do is I need to actually be a participant in it is what I need. because I need to break through some of these unconscious beliefs and thoughts and things and get to the root. And so he helped me with a few things. And what he talked about is having enough reasons. And having enough reasons means having more leverage on yourself for why do you want to be more healthy? Or for you, do you have enough reasons? So if you want to make more money, well, why? What are your reasons to make more money? You probably heard the whole phrase, why? You got to say why 7 times to get to like the root. Well, I have plenty of reasons, right? I've got my kids, I've got my wife and all this stuff. But I haven't had like an experience where I'm not like in the hospital or something, right? Like it's good. Like health's okay. It's not like bad. I haven't had a reason like a doctor say, you got to do this or else, right? And he said, let's not wait until one of those situations. And isn't that how it happens? People wait until it gets so bad that all of a sudden they have a big enough reason they have to change. It could be an alcoholic. It gets so bad that their life gets brought down. Everything collapses around them. They wake up in rehab and then it's like, I have to change, right? Or people lose all their money and everything crashes and burns. And then they wake up and they're like, I have to change. And so it takes that peak emotional experience to create a big enough reason to create this change. Well, I don't want you to wait until some financial catastrophe, or I don't want to wait to some problem in the health. I'm like, I want to do this now. And so that picture of him shaking my hand and looking in my eyes is like, basically asked me to commit to him. And I was like, I want the follow-up, commit to him. I'm like, okay. So I committed to Tony. I'm committing to you on the health side. And so talked about reasons. He also talked about taking small steps to start to shift behaviors, which will start to shift identity over time. And things like, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? I said a 6 for health. And he said, so we're not going to try and get to a 10. I want to get you to a 6.5. So I don't want you to go to the gym or exercise an hour a day or create all these constraints that are too difficult that people will start and stop. So instead he came back to, I need you to commit to 15 minutes a day. That's it. 15 minutes a day. And it's not about what the 15 minutes a day will do. It's not like that's going to be, oh my gosh, like Unsworth looks like he could do a fitness competition because of 50 minutes a day. No, it's literally the repetition and the consistency of 15 minutes a day, no matter what, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter good or bad. But it's one of those things that starts to shift behaviors over time and you start to build momentum, you start to get proud of yourself. So from that, I'm like, okay, well, I can do that. And I've been doing that. And then it came down to getting the right coach. And so he started talking about coaching. And I'm like, I know this, I'm a coach. Well, where I had my health dialed is when I had a coach and I did a fitness competition and then I let go of the coach and then I've been up and down ever since. And he was like, I want you to find the coach that you're going to commit to. That's going to be a lifelong commitment, basically. And from that conversation, this is the power of a mastermind. From that conversation later that night, Russell Brunson texts me and he says, hey, you got to check out my health coach. And Russell's a very in shape guy. He's got a health coach, right? And then Jesse Ecker is like, you got to check out my health coach. And so long story short is it's like, you look at it, it's like, you want to spend money here, you want to do this, want to do that. And it's like, how about we all think abundantly? And if there's something that you want, build out a plan, go be an affiliate for somebody to create the extra surplus. There's never a reason. And I teach this stuff. So I'm like, it's like, spending that money on the health coaching. It's like, for some reason, I have it, I can spend it, but I'm like, I want to invest it in property, or I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm like, no, I need to do this. But also for any of you right now, think about like where you want to get to. Maybe it's a coach to get you where you want to get to. Maybe it's getting to the airfare in the hotel to get to like our abundance event that's coming up. Or maybe it's a coach for any area of your life. When you feel that financial burden of like, I don't have it, or I don't really want to spend it on this, like that's where we have to stop, catch ourselves and say, no. Like, what's the fruit of that coach? What's the benefit? There'll be so much more abundance and surplus. Also, if you're in a place where you don't have the money, how resourceful can you get? Weaving in some of these affiliate offers, leveraging the training from today to create more abundance so that you can have those coaches. And no matter where you're at in life, it's like all of us have that same ability and possibility. And so to do that. So basically, I doubled down on that with him. I made a deal with him that I'll get my health dialed in and had some other specific goals that it's pretty cool. I'm going to get to follow up with him and his team and be able to send him the progress update. So I'm committing to you as well. And for all of you here live, that when I see you at Abundance, you're going to see the best version of Nick Unsworth you've seen in a long time at Abundance. And I'll be below 200 pounds, which where I should be. And I believe when I'm going to bring out Abundance, I believe I will be in the best mental state. I will be in the best physical state I've been in a long time. And I will be the best version of me for you at Abundance. And that event is just a completely life and business transforming experience. So that's my commitment to you. And why is it good to put that out there is that through a declaration, it's creating more reasons. It's creating more leverage. I'm building a long lever of accountability to make it happen. So that was a couple cool things that was in the takeaway. And then what I'd love to do now, I know we're coming up on time. What I would love to do is I want to have a couple people say a few words about what we have coming up for our Abundance event. Don't worry, if you're here, you have an awesome bonus. You have a 90% off ticket. This isn't going to be some big kind of huge sales pitch. All I'm going to do is just say that the Abundance event, that's July 21 to 24 in Dallas, Texas. I truly believe that this event is going to be the best possible training that you could put yourself through to prosper and build wealth with purpose through the next economic cycle we're about to go through, because you get your mind right, not just for yourself, for your family. And I say mind right, it's all of our minds are right. But when we get a truly abundant mentality, and if we can get you to think differently about the vision for your business, about your finances, and most importantly, we say the fast track to freedom, because there are things that all of us carry, right? There's like for me on the health side, like I literally need to, have Megan teach the whole abundance and like me go through it, because there's nothing like it. Like the entire experience is about getting past what's called your critical faculty, which is your conscious mind. And the entire experience is about resetting the beliefs that are in your unconscious mind that everyday people people don't know how to do that. And so that's where you try and make a change in your life. You try and make a change, but you keep coming back. It's like the thermostat. It gets hot and then the thing kicks on and it gets back to the normal temp. You said that at 70, that's what happens to our lives. You might stretch in business, but then you end up back at the same. You're like, why am I only making the same amount I made last year? And you're like, why did I make the same amount I made last year again? And there's these patterns that don't break until we go out and we break the chains, we break the patterns. And so abundance is not like any other experience I've ever seen or been a part of. We got some amazing speakers, but literally it is a process. It is a 4-day immersive, and it's a process to develop your abundant mindset, the vision for your life and your business with where you're going, in a bigger vision than you could have ever imagined. And while doing the work to completely let go of beliefs that don't serve you, things that don't serve you. Shoot, we had a guy, this is crazy. Coach Joe Fedek, he just sent us a card. And this happens all the time. He sent us a card. We got it about a week ago, and we haven't talked to him in a long time. And he said, I just want to thank you, because at Abundance 5 years ago to the date, like 5-year anniversary of going to Abundance, 5 years ago, he gave up cocaine, he gave up alcohol, and he's living a sober life. And the guy's changed so much that he ended up becoming a coach, because people witnessed, he went from alcoholic, drug user, life spiraling out of control, to all of a sudden, literally, he's so on fire. He's kicking butt in his business, making money. Excuse me. He's so physically fit. The people ask him how to do it, and he's absolutely flourishing. He's the definition of living your life on fire. And it all happened. That change happened at Abundance. And so it's super special. And you are on the line, which means you're one of our amazing clients. And so you've got a 90% off ticket. And so the price is going to go up, because what we did is we gave this as a bonus. So if you joined our academy, if you joined our Project Next, you did any of our programs, we gave this as a bonus. This is our annual Super Bowl. And we gave it as a 90% off bonus. And so you basically go to, I'll put the link in the chat. The fancy link is abundanceevent2022.com. or you can also click the link in the chat. And what'll happen is click on it. You can get 90% off, making it $97. We've got a discounted hotel at the Hyatt Regency, and you just got to get there, you know. And also for the first few hundred people that sign up, we have our Live Abundantly book, which is amazing. It is a book that is a mashup of all these amazing clients that have their stories of abundance in the book. So the first 500 people, we already have 250 registered, but so 250 more people that register are going to get, excuse me, this book when you register today. You'll get the book when you sign up and come to Abundance. And so that is super cool. And what else is going on at Abundance? Very special, a lot of great information that you can read through, but also we have Coffey Anderson. And so he's got a huge Netflix show called Country Ever After. This guy is going to be performing, singing, and he's going to be doing a keynote. And James Melanchek, who's also going to be there. If you don't know James, he is incredible. He's going to be teaching and training. James says, "How on earth did you get Coffey?" And I said, "Well, lucky for us, he happens to live a town up from us, and we go to the same church." And he was like, "That is incredible." He's like, "That's just crazy." Oh, let me just see here. I thought I was sharing the screen. Guess I'm not sharing the screen. And so he was talking about, you know, how incredible it is. He's a rising star. He's somebody who he loves God. He's a performer. He's on such an ascension. So to hear him teaching about his journey on how he started on YouTube, like all of us, right? Like it started as just like at square one, like all of us do, and then grew and grew and grew. And now he just got picked up on a huge record label. James Melanchek said a couple of days ago, he's like, "Man, I can't believe, how'd you get him?" And he was like, he set the record, like a world record at the Grand Opry, that he's the only musician in history, like over 100 years, the only one in history that got 3 standing ovations when he performed. I didn't even know that. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So that's going to be super special to be at Abundance for his performance, and then also and keynote. And then who else do we got? We have Megan and I are going to be putting you through our format and process for breakthrough. We've got James Melanchek, who's going to be teaching. We've got Rex Crane we're bringing in, who is incredibly powerful, incredibly gifted to help create change in your life. We have Lakeisha Michelle singing, performing, teaching, and she's the MC. And we also are bringing in Austin Blanchfield and his wife, Brianna. They're going to be performing. We have Heidi Lee performing. So we're pretty much pulling out all the stops. It's going to be amazing. And you just pop on here for the $97 ticket, and you can just fill this bad boy out, and that will get you registered and secure your spot for Abundance. And the link again is abundanceevent2022.com. And this is just $97. So 90% off. It's a $97 ticket to get to Abundance, fast track to freedom. And so what I'd love to do is I'd love to pop in the chat, who here knows you're going to be at Abundance? Type in a yes if you are ready to be at Abundance. I truly believe this will be the greatest thing that you can do for your business through the season we're about to head into. And if you haven't signed up, grab your ticket soon, because we are very sure we are going to sell this thing out. We are very sure that, you know, it's going to sell out. The hotel is going to fill up, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on it. And this is going to be one of the greatest things you can do to set yourself up, your business up for success and your life, you know. And if you're married, bring your spouse. If you're already signed up, take advantage of the 90% off and bring somebody with you. Some of you know with Megan's aunt passing, it's one of these things where it's a tragedy what happened, and it could have been avoided through this kind of work. And Megan and I, we both were like holding hands, crying. We're just thinking, it's just like, people need this. Like, there are things that people suffer through, that they go through, things that we carry with us, and there's so much that we can let go of at Abundance to live our lives in such freedom and in such joy. And that's why we created it. We literally built this event. So the history of it is that, you know, we started the coaching business, you know, coming on 10 years ago, right? We're coaching people, and it was like, we're given the strategies, we're holding them accountable, but why are we still coming up against a ceiling? And the ceiling is that there's certain beliefs, and the ceiling is that there's things that you can't just coach on a phone call. There's things that stop people that are in their, their subconscious mind that are not accessible just from the conscious mind, just saying, hey, well, stop doing that, or just, repeat something, And so this became the solution that we said, you know what, if we're going to keep coaching, we have to put people through a process like this, because it's going to help them break through their limitations and break through the glass ceilings. And therefore our coaching will be more effective. And what's wild is the people who are at Abundance last year that are our clients, the trajectory and what's happened in their business and lives is just crazy, crazy. So we'll see who can pop on and just share for a few minutes. I know I'm going long now, but I'd love to see, we'll just kind of see who is on and who can make and share a couple words about abundance. So let me see if Alexandria is on. I'm just going to type in here. Okay. What about Kathy Morenzi? You have mentioned Kathy a couple times, and people say, how do you spell her last name? So totally on the spot here. So I've got it on the spot. Kathy, let me know if you're up for it. I'm going to just hit allow to talk and see if I have no idea if you're near your video, but we'll give it a shot. Otherwise, if not, Kathy, no worries. I can jump to someone else. But Kathy Morenzi, if you are here, let me know, pop on video. And then, all right, so let me see here. Okay, let me jump to, we've got, all right, there's a lot of you on here. Let me jump to Gina. All right, so Gina Peth, let me see if Gina is here. All right, so Gina Peth. Be nice if I had lined these up in advance, but.
That's all right, I'm here.
So Gina, all right, so let me, I think I need to make you a, hold on one second.
Oh, it looks like Kathy's here too.
Oh, cool. All right. So I'm going to make you a panelist so she'll be able to do video. And then Kathy, I'll do the same as well. And yeah, I just love for you to share your heart, nothing, not trying to be over, salesy about it or anything. I just want people to know the raw beautifulness of abundance and why they should be there.
Sure. So I'm right on the spot here. First of all, I came and brought my daughter. And so we both had a massive experience. My daughter was not part of your Life on Fire yet, brought her, she signed up, she's written a book, she's doing summits. Her whole life has completely shifted. So I think she's on this call now listening as well. So I want to give her a shout out, because as a mom, man, having your adult daughter show up and change her life through this event was amazing. For me, there were 3 words that you guys spoke over my life continually throughout the experience. So it was integrity, inheritance, and investment. So Rex spoke it, you spoke it. And man, when Megan spoke those words, every time she said those words, I felt it in my body. And my whole life this past year has really been around those words. And everything has just really shifted for me. I didn't have a business. I mean, had started a business, but now I have a full-fledged business. I'm coaching parents. I'm helping out a lot of families. I've done some speaking. I'm writing a book. I don't even know how much more to share, except that it all started there. It's been a huge experience. I met lifelong friends there. There's people that I still meet with weekly that I met at Abundance. We get online every week and talk and share and encourage each other. So I can't wait, because over this past year, I've met so many of you guys through all these different calls that I can't wait to just go and see you and connect. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, Gina. Thank you so much for sharing. And to your daughter that's on, we're just so grateful that you came to Abundance and that you're here and you guys are kicking butt. So awesome. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
All right, Kathy Morenzi, tell us about
Nick.
Abundance and why should people be there?
Oh my goodness. Why should people be there? Nothing beats live. It's one thing to speak virtually, but to feel energy of people, to feel people's excitement, it almost makes it real. I find it's one thing to kind of sit behind the computer and say, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to do this. But to stand up and to declare that, you invited me to be on the stage, and that was life-changing, because it's like you just did a declaration in front of other people. Like, we all just lift each other up. We all support each other. We all encourage each other. Something about, and can I share any of the exercises? I won't share the exercises, but there's something about tangibly, like physically doing something to represent the strongholds that are in our mind, that just takes it to another level. So you can say, I want to change, but when you put your physical body in a place of breaking through, I won't give it away. That's just a whole nother level of breakthrough. The exercises, the book, in yesterday, in one of the coaching sessions, somebody held up their book. I still go through my book all the time. I reread my letter from the book. I reread the exercises. I reread my I am statements. I hope I'm not giving too much away, but so I still do those exercises almost a year later, that we did in the book. And I booked my flight yesterday, and Jen and I booked our hotel. So we can't wait to come. I'm thinking of what I'm going to wear and what it's just the excitement of it all is just so cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the amazing friends that I met last year, the networking that I did with the friends last year, and just looking forward to making more friends and making more connections.
That is so awesome. And notice behind her, she's got this Kingdom Impact Award. And so we have a whole award ceremony for Kingdom Impact Awards, and 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, but also top success story. And we've got most helpful and really cool things. And Coffee Anderson, he's performing the night of the award ceremony, which is cool. And so it just makes it super fun. And so it's a very, very experiential, very hands-on. And then Kathy, what would you say? We think tangible, like it's called abundance, immersive, meet amazing friends, but let's talk about like tangible. Like, do you think that moved the needle in your business to create more income?
There was an exercise that we did where we had to write down, we had to speak in a group, and we had to talk about where do we see ourselves next year? And to be able to declare that and confess that. So all year you go away from that, working towards that declaration that you made in the presence of other people. So tangibly, like, I left there thinking, I want to come back next year, and this is what I want to declare and confess to everybody else. So tangibly knowing that this is the goal that I set, and I want to do it in front of everyone. I want everyone to see. So there's something about like a group accountability, much like you did with your fitness goal. You saying next year, you guys are going to see me. That's the feeling that I've had all year is, oh my goodness. It's kind of like, I don't want to let anyone down. It's not really like that, but I can't wait to celebrate with all of my friends that I met. So that is the feeling, and setting the goals together was something powerful also. So we'll all celebrate together the goals that we set last year together. So like you said, it's a Super Bowl, like that's what I'm looking forward to every year. And as I think of my goals, that's what I'm moving towards, is to celebration, is abundance. Sorry, that's my event, is abundance.
That's so awesome. Kathy, we love you. We're so grateful to have you as part of our
Thank you
community.
so much for all you do. You guys have changed my life. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. And I love that, as Kathy was sharing, there's just, I think it was Joanne. Yeah. Joanne says, the next 2 months after abundance, I made 5 figures. It was crazy. It's amazing what happens when you are so clear on your vision and your plan of attack, and you've let go of the things holding us back. I like to describe it as, imagine if you're running through life and you've got these parachutes attached to your back. So imagine the drag, the force, all of that resistance against you. And what's crazy is that most people don't realize that they're even attached to their back. They don't realize that there could be 1 or 2 or 3 or 5. And so the event is designed, why we can't talk about the exercises is because we want you to experience them for the first time. So they're all awesome. But the event is there are times where you're sitting and you're learning. And then there's a lot of times where you're up and you're in groups and you're doing things. And it's different. Some events are like dancing and this and that. Like this is more, to me, it's very intentional with the breakthrough work, and it's fun. And so we make sure that it really meets people where they're at. There's nothing weird. We spend a lot of time to find the right exercises to really make it create lasting impact for people. So yes, the website is abundanceevent2022.com. And Tina had a great question. She said, can I bring my daughters? And can I bring, I think she said like 4 tickets. And so, yes, the answer is yes. So like right now, because you're part of our Life on Fire community, like this whole thing at $97, like you will see the price ramp up to $997. Like that's the price. That's the investment of the event is $997. So like 90% off is pretty crazy. When you see the experience and it's 4 days and all, you realize, and we have, the workbook. It's not like most events, it's just a bunch of speakers and you leave there confused. You leave there like, that was awesome. But like, now what? Like, what do I do? Where do I start? Like, whereas this is, you leave there refreshed, renewed, with a new mindset, an abundant mindset, but you've got a plan. You've got your workbook that has everything in it that's a process, and you have a plan, and you've got a new vision and a plan. You've let go of the old stuff. And it's pretty crazy. We have people letting go of depression, people letting go of anxiety, letting go of addictions. Life-changing stuff. So that's awesome. And let me see here. So, and then also, is there a minimum age? So, we do say 18 to attend the event. I would say, like, if you emailed support@lifeonfire.com, we could be convinced if you have like a 16-year-old son or daughter. But what we don't want is we just can't have it like, we can't have, we got to maintain the environment for everybody. So we've had some people that were like, hey, can I bring my kids? And I don't have a babysitter. And it's just like, if it's going to take away from everybody else, if kids are like yelling or screaming, obviously we can't do that. So, 18 is what we normally say, but if you're bringing like a responsible teenager, we could be convinced of that if you email support. And yes, the link for tickets is abundanceevent2022.com. And I'll also and that will forward you to this Life on Fire page. And let me pop it in here. Boom. And so the link is in the chat. We'd love for you to be there. And we are confident that we're going to sell it out. So 2 things are going to happen. One is the price is going to go up. And then as we get closer, we are confident that we'll sell it out ahead of time. And I would also say, definitely stay on site. Some of the best networking and the best experiences are on the property. There are nearby hotels, but we've negotiated a really good hotel discount. And it's just like, it's like the breakfasts and lunches and dinners with each other. Like, it's just very, very special. So let me see here. I've got Casey on. Let me see if I can get him totally on the spot. Haven't seen Casey in a while. I know we're hanging out on Friday. He just moved to Texas. Let me see if he is on. And if we can have Casey, has done a lot with us with abundance.
Oh, I'm here.
He's here. Casey's here. Awesome. And you should be able to turn on. Yes,
right,
Coach Casey. How's it going, brother?
It's good. Just in my new apartment here in the good old state of Texas.
The great state of Texas. I love it. Well, hey, tell us a bit. So give us your experience of abundance and why people should be there.
Yeah. So I would say that, maybe some people are on here listening that have already been to abundance. And I just want to encourage you, if you've already been to abundance, it doesn't mean you can't go again, right? I think I've probably been to almost every single abundance that we've had, back to when we had like 20 people at abundance, right? And every single time it's just been in a completely different experience. Every single time it's been a completely different level of breakthrough. And at the last event, I really honestly, I was there and I was on site and kind of like helping behind the scenes, and I wasn't really expecting to get what I got out of that event. And just going through the event and just kind of being in more of an attendee role this time, I woke up one morning and I realized that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with the girl that I was with the girl that I brought to abundance. It was my girlfriend. And I walked up to Nick and I was like, Nick, I think I want to propose and I would love to propose to her on stage at the event. Is there any way we can make this happen? And it was crazy. I just woke up one morning and I decided, because of the exercises, because of the breakthrough, because of the vision, because of, just getting clear on like what I really value, and knowing and understanding what she values, and just knowing that we were on the same trajectory and we're on the same page, I realized like this is the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. And so I'd say I walked in abundance single man, and I walked out of abundance engaged. So,
It's awesome.
Health, wealth, love, and faith, you'd never have any idea what's possible at abundance. And, it's just that kind of event that cultivates the unexpected. And so if you're listening right now, I mean, I just encourage you to go get registered, because whether it's on the wealth side and getting that clarity of vision and purpose for your business, or getting clear on like what you want in a relationship. Because I'm not the only person that has a love story at abundance, right? Randy and Alicia.
Oh yeah.
It's just an atmosphere. What I love about Nick and Megan, and what makes them different than all these other like self-help events, which are all great, but what makes Nick and Megan different is the atmosphere. It's not just about them up there on the stage. It's really about the community and the atmosphere that they cultivate, and the group dynamic just takes on an entirely different life of its own. And that's why I said every single abundance has been a completely different experience. So I just want to share that.
It was so awesome. What an amazing moment. And yeah, it was pretty nuts. It was like Casey had a breakthrough at abundance. And that's a big thing, is like there's many breakthrough moments for people. And you might go in thinking about, I need a breakthrough in my finances. And then there's also breakthrough in like other areas of your life. And I don't think I'll never forget Casey going in, the green room behind the scenes is just like, he had like this big, huge smile on his face. Just like, is there any way that I could propose on stage? And we got to imagine, like, it's a pretty big production and stuff. And we're like, we got to make that happen. We can make anything happen. Right. It was so cool. So Casey, thanks for sharing, man. I'm pumped to see you this Friday now that you're in Texas.
Yes. I'm excited to see you too. I miss you guys so much.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, hey, I know I'm just going to wrap up. Let's see if we can get on Coach Katie. Just love to have her share a few words if she's available. And hey, whole thing is, these tickets, our whole thing is you're here because you are, part of our community. We've purchased one of our courses and programs. And so you've got the first opportunity at this. It's 90% off. And we just would love to have you there. And we're very confident that it'll be an experience that will, shift and change your life in a really, really profound and great way. So, all right. And let's see if I can get you promoted to panelist, Katie. There we go. All right. And then the link is abundanceevent2022.com. And I'm not sure if I hit the right button. Oh, there we go. I think it's working. Cool. And then Salamatu Lot just booked. Joanne is in. So if you were not in before this call, but you're in now, type a yes in the chat box. I'd love for you to say hi. Let us know that you're in. That would be awesome. All right, who do we got? So yeah, pop it a yes if you're going to be joining us, and it's abundanceevent2022.com. And then Coach Katie, you are on as a panelist. So we got Jeff signing up as we're talking. We got Brenda, we got Pam, we got Mitzi. Awesome. It'll exceed your expectations. It is, I think it's, in all the things that we've ever done in business, I would say it's the thing I'm the most proud of is the results that abundance gets. And that's why, like for our Accelerate coaching clients, it's like, you got to go to abundance. So that's why we give it for everyone that buys our programs, is because it's so impactful. All right. So Coach Katie, I'm not sure I see you on here, but maybe we got a tech glitch or something. Not sure, but either way, I know we're coming up on time here at 2 hours. So we'll kind of wrap for tonight. And I just want to say thank you for being here. Great to reconnect for a little bit. We always do these like live challenges and stuff, and they're pretty intense. And this is fun to just share these different takeaways. And so if you got something out of today, I really, pop in yes in the chat box. I really hope this served you. We will have the replay out tomorrow, and I'll have all of the links, and I'll have the link to like the mobile marketing document and the share funnel link and all that kind of stuff. And so hope to have you at Abundance. And either way, we're just so grateful to have you as part of our Life on Fire community, because the only reason we do what we do, and the only reason we're in business, is serving people just like you. Like, you are the business, you are the asset of this whole thing. And so I want you to know how much we appreciate you, how grateful we are for you. Megan as well. She's not here with us at this moment, but she is super grateful for you. So we love you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.